Welcome to
NSCoder Chicago.
Welcome to
NSCoder Chicago.
Welcome to
NSCoder Chicago. NSCoder Chicago.
Welcome to
Hey, thanks for joining us for episode 11 of the NSCoder Chicago podcast. Here we chat about iOS development, tech news, career, and whether we like it or not, we usually find ourselves discussing AI. My name is David.
And my name's Sean. NSCoder Chicago is a monthly meetup here in Chicago. We get together downtown on the last Tuesday of every month. You can find more information about us at nscoder-chicago.com. Look for us on Meetup for upcoming events. And recently even added a LinkedIn organization.
Yeah.
So you can find us and follow us on there. We'd love to see you. Everybody's welcome, whether you're just starting out on the Mac or you've been programming since, I don't know, System 6. Everyone is welcome, and we'd love to see you.
Yes. And speaking of the LinkedIn thing, I think you can even tag us for stuff. I think has Hussein tagged us? I feel like someone's tagged us. I don't know.
He is, yeah, he's our number one fan. He's got the most engagement, it seems like.
He's awesome.
Yeah.
Thanks, Hussein, for sharing the episodes.
Yeah, thanks, Hussein. Well, we're in the post-holiday winter doldrums, so there's not much new stuff coming out. We're all just looking forward to WWDC.
Mm-hmm.
But Apple surprised me, at least today, and after rumors of an updated AirTag, they popped out this morning. Looks pretty much exactly the same.
Of course.
Costs the same. Smells the same. But Apple says the speaker is 50% louder,
Okay.
so that's fun. And then there's a greater precision finding range. So if you go into that mode where it's sort of like pinging, like the
Mhm.
movie Aliens, you're like
Yeah.
tracking down the xenomorph. If you're
Mhm.
tracking down your AirTag, that works much better, they say.
Okay. Yeah, that actually helps because I feel like half the time when I'm using the find feature, I hear it ringing, but I don't know where it's coming from. It's like I have to kind of hear it ring like 4 or 5 times before I can feel confident about any direction it might be. And then it turns out to be like under a pillow or something like that. And so
Yeah,
maybe
figures.
maybe it'll help with that. Yeah, I also I remember the other day I was trying to find my keys, and I was convinced that it must be like in the couch, under the couch cushion or something, because that's where the find thing was taking me to. It was saying it's like pretty much right there. And it turns out it was on the side of the couch, under the couch, not in the couch. And so, like, maybe it'll help with that too, the precision improvement.
Yeah, so much for precision, right?
Yeah. Let's see. Is the battery the same? Because I just updated the batteries on mine.
Yeah, it says same battery, same form factor, same everything. Yeah.
Okay. I thought maybe they might replace that with a rechargeable one at some point, but at least it's the same.
I always feel kind of bad throwing those coin batteries out.
Oh, yeah.
At some point Chicago had a battery recycling in the library.
Okay.
But because I'm crazy, I Googled it and they're like, nah, it's fine. They don't put mercury in those anymore. You can just throw them in the trash. And I was
Nice.
like,
Oh, that's a relief for me
yes.
because I don't even think about it. Jeez.
Yeah.
Whoops.
They're safe. As long as you don't eat them, you'll be fine.
That's good. That's good. I don't eat them, but I definitely do the taste test to see if there's still a charge. Do you ever do that? Is that just me?
Does that work? Does that work on coin batteries?
It works
on the little ones?
amazing. Yeah,
Oh,
it's
wow.
so the AirPods will tell you they're low battery well before they're about to run out,
Oh yeah.
And so I've gotten to the point where I'm like, all right, let me see how much of a charge there is. And you just touch it to the tip of your tongue and it'll have a very like kind of sour taste to it. If there's still a charge. And as it gets closer to no charge, that sour taste fades away. And so also a good way to check if your batteries are still good, because you try that new battery and that sour taste will be there.
Oh my gosh. All
Yeah,
right.
yeah. Taste your batteries. It'll tell you a lot. You'll learn a lot from it.
Somebody, a listener somewhere is either nodding along like, yeah, of course, I thought everybody knew that, or totally disgusted. No, don't lick your batteries. That's okay.
fun.
I'll try it because I have the one that I have in my suitcase
Mhm.
has been pinging me for a couple of days saying the battery's low. So I'll try
Okay.
it out.
We don't have
I'll
one
give it a
nearby
taste
for a live
test.
trial, do we?
No. So the press release says also it called out that they've integrated with a ton of airlines.
Oh,
They've
okay.
got 15 or 20 now.
That's
So
great.
like if you have one in your bag, you can
Mhm.
you can hit the like share with airline button and allow
Oh.
them to track it and help you to find your bags.
Wow.
Now, you just said that you're looking for your keys in your own
Mhm.
house,
Yeah.
but have you ever made use of AirTags out in the wild? Have they ever helped you out?
Um, yes. So they are great for letting me know when I've left something behind.
Mhm.
Oftentimes it's something that I didn't need, which was why it was left behind. But it has helped me once or twice to be like, oh, I don't have my wallet and I'm just a few blocks away. Might as well turn around and grab it, you know?
I've got one in each of our suitcases, and we've never needed it.
Okay.
Actually, no, I take that back. My wife did need it once. One time, she got to the airport, and her bags went on an earlier flight. So she
Oh,
landed
okay.
and waited for her bags, and her bags never showed up.
Hmm.
And so she's at the carousel,
Hmm.
empty-handed,
Hmm.
and she opened up to find, where's my bag?
Yeah.
And it pointed her to just like down the hallway. And so
Oh,
she walked over and she was like, "Why is my bag here?" And they're like, "Oh, your bag was on an earlier flight. We thought this would be helpful." And she's like, "No, it
wow.
wasn't helpful." But
Wow.
that was, I was about to say, I've never really used it in production, but I have,
Okay.
yeah.
Wow, yeah. I mean, like, you can imagine what that situation would have been like without the AirTag, right?
Yeah, I
Probably a
mean,
lot messier.
yeah, you just sort of wandering around asking,
Yeah.
"Have you seen my bag?"
Right, right. Yeah. And then it's on the person you get, whether they're helpful enough to actually track it down for you.
Oh, yeah, that's for sure. Yeah. My whole life, from the time I was a child and I had my first house key up
Mhm.
until now,
Mhm.
I've lost my keys exactly twice. And I
Oh,
remember
wow.
once was in high school, fell out of my pocket,
Mhm.
and I never found that key. I just like it was lost.
Mm.
And another time, a few years ago, this was I think right before AirTags came out.
Mhm.
I was going for a run and I had like a little fanny pack thing that I
Mhm.
wore with my phone in it.
Mhm.
And my keys jostled out a little
Oh,
hole and
no.
fell
Wow.
somewhere on the streets of Chicago. So they were lost.
Okay.
But so that happened like right before the AirTag came out. So I was like, I'll get an AirTag and I'll put it on my keys and I'll never lose my keys again. But
Uh-huh.
like I've never lost my keys since then. So
Sure,
it's
yeah,
been
wow.
it's been a moot point, you know?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, better safe than sorry, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Wow. And when you say you've lost your keys only twice, do you mean like lost and not found? Or I'm like, wow, that's actually really good if you've never misplaced your keys beyond.
This we can add this to the list of topics. I have a system, I have a place where my keys
Ooh.
go. Every time I come in the house, the keys go in a place until I
Uh-huh.
need them, and then they're in my pocket, and I always, you know.
I was suspecting that. I similarly have a system, but it sounds like you're better about it than I am. I
You just walk in and throw your keys in the air.
Well, I've been surprised at how much my friends and family lose their things, and I felt great about how not so often I lose my things, how rarely I lose my things, but
Yeah.
you're on another level. I got to take some notes from you.
I mean, I wish I had a reason to buy more AirTags. Like
Oh yeah.
it's just like I don't need AirTags, but like
Mhm.
it's just, they're cute and you can put an
Mhm.
emoji on them
Yeah.
and like track things. That's so much fun.
Yeah, and they're pretty inexpensive too.
Yeah, yeah. What is it? Like 4 of them for $100?
Yeah, I think, and maybe
Yeah.
cheaper on Amazon too. I think I've seen like The 4 packs were
Yeah.
around 75.
Oh, I know. I have another use case. One of my friends, his car was towed. He accidentally parked in a snow zone, uh, for that first snowfall back in the,
Oh.
was it right before or right after Thanksgiving?
Hmm.
But he had an AirTag in his car. And
Uh-huh.
so at first he was like, we lost our car. I'm pretty sure it was here.
Uh-huh.
But then he looked it up and they were like, "Oh, according to the map, it's at the City of Chicago impound lot."
Oh, yeah,
And
yeah.
so they solved the mystery very quickly.
Yeah, I have a brother who had pretty much the exact same story.
Oh, wow. All
Yeah,
right.
yeah, yeah. Great for finding cars too.
Yeah. Okay. Put it on cars. What else moves around? They used to say don't put it on dogs and children, but I'm like,
Oh.
what's the worst that could happen?
Yeah, well, I'll be honest. I am planning on putting AirTags on my kids. They actually have shoe inserts
Oh,
for
wow.
the AirTags. Yeah. And
Yeah.
it's another one of those things where it's like better safe than sorry, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um
If they jog off or something, or
right,
yeah.
right. Let's hope nothing bad ever happens. But worst case scenario, they end up somewhere unexpected, and at least we've got that to fall back on, you know.
Yeah. We have listeners write in, leave a comment on YouTube. What other things should we put AirTags on? Why should I spend
Right.
another couple $100
Yeah, do you
on
use
these?
AirTags? Do you use it for anything unique? We want to hear about it. We're clearly interested.
That reminds me, one of our first couple episodes, we went and talked a little bit about how unpleasant Apple News is.
Yeah.
And then I was listening to Reconcilable Differences
Mm.
with Merlin Mann and John Siracusa, and they were both talking about how terrible Apple News is and how
Oh, there
nobody
you
uses
go.
it. And
Yeah.
so, long-term follow-up, continue to confirm it's not a good app.
Maybe that can be the next step we try.
Oh.
Moving from context to news. Well,
Have you seen Google continues to use AI to uh, I don't know what you'd call it, to spice up headlines. So sometimes on Google
oh,
News you'll get a just for you headline, which isn't the actual headline,
really?
to
No
entice you to
way.
click. And the Verge covered it and they're like, this is a bad idea.
Yeah, where's
And
the
and Google's like,
editorial like
yeah, Google's
taste?
like, no, we still like it.
Wow, that is, it makes sense that Google would make a decision like that because they've got the analytics to show whether it works or not, you know.
Oh yeah. Are you chasing
But
those clicks?
yeah, half the reason you like follow any news outlet though is its editorial style, you know.
Yeah.
Um,
I mean,
that's
preaching
so
to the choir
strange.
here, yeah.
Yeah, well.
So speaking of news, AirTags came out today. See, I brought it back.
Yes, full circle, love it. AI, that's something that we frequently find ourselves talking about on this podcast. Like you heard in the intro, whether we like it or not. Um, but we're in technology. We're building software. AI is software. It builds software. We're gonna end up talking about it. Uh, and we're probably going to end up working with it at some point. And so I thought today it might be fun to talk about AI at work, and what that experience is like, what it's been like, what we expect it to turn into, how we feel about it. And I've got a lot of thoughts on this, but maybe we can start with you, Sean. How do you feel about AI and work?
I tell you. And when we talk about AI, we're mostly talking about LLMs.
Yes, the
And
new modern interpretation of it.
yeah, yeah. I never thought I would be nostalgic for good old fashioned, machine learning. Give me some heuristics.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
with how do I feel about it? Well, I wish there was some way to separate the hype from the value, because
Mm.
it like making software has been uh you know transformed permanently. It's a sea change, like
Oh yeah.
and I've used that phrase for years, not correctly. Like a sea change is like a true, like total shift,
Mm.
a like complete change. And I would
Okay.
use it, colloquially, but this is actually a sea change. This is like the biggest change to software engineering in
Yeah.
a long time.
Oh yeah. It's
Um,
it's enough to make me question my whole career, to be
yeah,
honest.
yeah.
Yeah.
And then even despite that, or maybe because of that, like that's not enough. Like there's still hype beyond that. Like
Oh
it's a
yeah.
really good tool, but
Hmm.
then you can't go a few minutes on social media or LinkedIn or anywhere where somebody's not screaming like, "Oh my god," as you just said, like programming is
Mm.
not going to exist in 2 years. Like everybody's
Right.
just going to yell at an LLM.
Yeah. It
Uh
reminds me of the crypto market where you've got like the technology itself, which is kind of amazing, and then you've got the whole like hype crowd behind it, which is much less than
yeah.
amazing.
I mean, where there's a dollar to be made, people will
Yeah.
drive the hype.
Oh yeah.
Um, so we'll talk later about my experience with uh, Claude and my personal project that I keep
Right.
hinting at.
Hmm.
Um, but now we're talking about work, and I can say like without a doubt, um, like the Claude plugins into Claude, text prompts, like all of this has allowed my work and the people I've worked with to go uh much faster. Like there's rough
Hmm.
edges for
Hmm.
sure. Like even just earlier today, one of my coworkers had Claude do some analysis
Hmm.
on rate limiting and preparing to do some load testing,
Hmm.
and Claude came back and gave us the wrong numbers. Uh,
Oh no.
so
Well,
it
yikes.
said like, you'll exceed your rate limit, and we looked at it, and I go, no, we won't. Like that,
And then it's
all
like,
those
oh, you're
numbers,
right. We won't.
yeah, all those numbers are totally wrong. But if you take the time to give detailed spec or good instructions, even at an established code base now,
Hmm.
it can do some incredible stuff. I used it the other day
Okay.
to
Wow.
it had access to like the Git history and um
The Git
uh
history. So it knew what the code used to look like?
yeah, because I asked
Oh my
specifically, I
goodness.
said we
Wow.
had this bug, this regression came up in the last 2 weeks.
Hmm.
It's in URL handling. Um, that this is what we're seeing, and
Mm.
to figure it out. And it,
Wow.
Claude churned and went through the Git history and
Hmm.
cross-referenced and looked at the apps code, and it was like, oh, I'm pretty sure this is it. This commit, this change, and this is probably why it's broken. And it was
Wow.
right. It was almost 100% right. It was wrong about the
Okay.
URL format, but
Mm.
it was correct that was the problem.
Okay. It sent you to the general area of the problem without
Yep.
solving the problem outright. Wow.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
pretty good still.
Yeah. Some of my coworkers at my new job are running like a couple instances of Claude at once, churning away on a spec
I've
or
heard of people doing
analysis or
that.
on an implementation. Yeah.
Hmm.
It's wild.
Wow. Yeah, I got on the AI development trend early and
Hmm.
established some pretty early habits that I've kind of stuck with.
Yeah.
Um,
What's your workflow like?
I use ChatGPT. Apple ended up baking it into Xcode. I think you've seen that.
Yep. Yeah.
Um, and that's my favorite way to use it right now. I before that I was using it through the ChatGPT app, Mac app.
Yeah.
And that works pretty great too. But I've found with the Mac app, it only has access to one file at a time. While it can remember the older files it looked at, it can only look at the specific file you're on at that moment. I think it's different in Xcode. at least it's felt like it can access more files than it does. It doesn't actually tell you how many files it's looking at in Xcode, but that has worked great for me. And I've also developed, I mean, I've established a development style that works around those tools as they existed early on and still exist in that form today. And nothing has really disrupted that or made me feel like it's not fast enough or needs to be improved or anything. So I've kind of stuck with it. Basically, I just
Yeah.
develop the way that I normally do. You know, most of the time I'm I'm creating the file. I'm writing the basic struct and some functions inside of it, empty functions, and then I just go one by one and ask it to fill it in for me.
Yeah.
If it needs awareness of any other files, I'll even copy the entire file and put it in the prompt so that it can consider it very directly. Um, but
Cool.
yeah, it's pretty much just Xcode and the ChatGPT app. But I've
Nice.
been seeing a lot about Claude. I've heard it's pretty much the best tool for programming, and I hear Gemini's really great recently too.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, that's the problem at work that we keep talking about
Yeah.
is all of this is so new and everything is sort of up for grabs. Like,
Mm-hmm.
should we try every single model? Then
Mm-hmm.
we're going to spend our whole day trying out different models instead of shipping code. Or
Mm-hmm.
should we, I don't know, should we upend our entire development lifecycle? Like, let's let's just reimagine everything, you know? Let's get rid
Right.
of let's not even do why are we doing code review if we
Mm-hmm.
are just plugging it in, and if the cost of code is nothing, then we
Mm-hmm.
can just make more code and, you know,
Right.
like to just go crazy.
Yeah.
So like
Yeah.
trying very hard to like deliberately iteratively
Mm-hmm.
move towards better, but
Mm-hmm.
even I think you and I experience a similar thing where we think we've got a pretty good workflow, right? And
Mm-hmm.
then you bump into somebody or you read a blog post and it's like, well, I guess I have like maybe a sport bike and this person has like, you know,
A
a
jet.
Bugatti. Yeah,
Sure,
a
yeah.
jet. Yeah, it's not
Yeah.
even on the ground. He's flying.
Right.
And you're like, whoa, I guess it could be better. Like, who knew?
That's how I feel when I hear people are using multiple instances. I'm like, really? I don't know if I
Oh
could
yeah.
even think that fast.
Yeah.
I mean, there's got to be a good workflow to make that work, but man, I treat like the AI as like a pair programmer, you know?
Yeah.
It's like a junior developer that I'm like, okay, you do that part now. Like I know how to do it and I know what needs to be done, but you do it, you
Mhm.
know?
I like your you know, sort of filling in the methods. I
Mm.
I might try that. I might try that myself
Oh
because
yeah.
I'm getting ahead of myself. We'll talk about my project later. Stay tuned,
Sure, sure.
everybody.
Yeah,
Uh
yeah.
but yeah, like to you fill in the skeleton,
Mhm.
you write some instructions, you give it a prompt,
Mhm.
and within the like more and more it's like the things that are good for development
Mhm.
are like in general for like coworkers
Mhm.
are more or less also like the same things apply to using these chatbots.
Oh yeah,
Like
yeah.
you want modular code where it's
Mhm.
easy to replace and iterate. You
Mhm.
want you know, meaningful abstractions, you want testable code, you want
Mhm.
you know, clear specs
Mhm.
and all that all that would
Yeah.
work well with a person
Mhm.
or with a chatbot. Uh,
Yeah.
you know, so it's nice to finally see all the
Yeah.
good development practices we've all been yelling about for years are finally like, oh well, if you know, if it makes AI better, then maybe we should try that out.
Right, right. Yeah, it is nice to see that what has made our work better and smoother also makes work better and smoother for AI. Um, the way that I kind of think about it, as you were kind of talking about it there, is it's almost like 3D printing. Like we've had carpenters and what do you call people who work with clay? I forgot. Molders.
What? Ceramicists?
Yeah.
Potters?
Uh,
What do
people
you
who
call
carve things
somebody?
out of stone. Yeah.
What if Mark is listening, he's like, "Oh, it's this." He knows.
But you've had people who've been making figures out of like shapes and statues and all kinds of things out of raw material for a long time. And then out of nowhere comes 3D printing, which does it in a dramatically different way, but it comes out with a pretty close to the same result kind of thing, you know.
Yeah.
And I think that's what we're experiencing in the programming space now. Is like the code is made in a completely different way, but there's probably still a lot of fundamental things that you need to pay attention to, like the way that weight is distributed on the object. Like if it needs to
Mm.
stand, you don't want it to fall over too easy, you know. And then there's additional things to consider, and how it's made. I know with 3D printing, you know, even just like the direction of the slices will make a difference
Mm.
for how well it holds together. Especially if you're doing something like a shelf or a key holder or something like that, you need to consider will the slices tear apart easily this way or not. Um, you know, and then there's extra stuff that you can do on top of that, like 3D printing allows like supports and stuff, so that like as you're printing, you know, things don't like start drooping over or something.
Yeah.
Um, and that feels like AI development. Like you're basically creating the same thing in the end, but there's just a little bit there's different things to consider now and how you make those things.
Mhm.
Um, and you know, if I'm being honest, I'd try to keep it as much as I can to what I used to know. You know, like or what I've known for the past, you know, 10 years or so or more really, but it's all of that I want to, you know, continue working in that way because I know that that works and I want to fit AI into that. And maybe that's why I treat it as a pair programmer, you know,
Yeah.
because it can funnel things in a way that like feels very familiar to me into my workflow. Um, but I mean, there are people who are much more willing to experiment than I am, and they're figuring out ways to work that I would have never thought of. You know,
Yeah.
um, I even saw uh, I saw this software recently on YouTube. I think it was called Claudbot, but it was spelled a little bit differently than Claude. It was CLAWD, I think, and its
Mhm.
mascot was a lobster. It's like Claude,
Oh
but
yeah, I think I read Mac Stories, I think did a write up
oh,
on
okay.
this.
And basically, this is an AI tool that you can use like whatever AI model you want, but this is kind of an interface for that model that will actually make it a very proactive helper for you. And so every day
Yeah.
it'll look at maybe you've got a to-do list or you've got a list of running tasks somewhere, and it'll just basically offer you things to get those tasks done. It will even vibe code for you. You know, it's like the AI is using AI for you.
Hmm.
Um, it's
I mean,
interesting.
that
Yeah.
that was the breakthrough moment in my um like because I had used one-off prompts and like uh sort of exchanged messages, in a
Uh-huh.
chat thread, but
Mm-hmm.
to have Claude, the command line interface,
Mm-hmm.
where like it iterates and it sort of prompts itself, and it will create artifacts that it then like uses in future contexts, like to see it um i- i- it's not actually problem solving
Mm-hmm.
because it's a statistical engine, but like to
Sure.
see it approximate problem solving is the
Uh-huh.
craziest thing, like.
Yeah.
And so I think it was in this Mac Stories. I'll put the Mac Stories article in the show notes.
Mm-hmm.
um Federici Vitici at Mac
Mm-hmm.
Stories
Mm-hmm.
has been using Claudebot, and like given a prompt of sufficient complexity, it then made the bot made
Mm-hmm.
other software to allow it to
Oh.
access other, like it it made its own tooling, and then
Wow.
incorporated the tooling and then used the tooling to accomplish a goal.
That's
And like
amazing.
that's where I come upstairs from my office and I'm like, oh, we're cooked. It's over.
Yeah. Oh man. Speaking of being cooked, how many years of work do you think we've got?
Oh no.
You're still very much working you're employed in in software
Yeah.
development right now? What
Yeah,
would
for
you
now.
guess?
Well,
I mean, maybe it's better not to look at it.
I mean, the I don't know. Do you want the the serious answer or the joke answer? Maybe I'll do
Let's
both.
do both. Let's start with the joke answer.
I mean, the joke it like I can't wait to stop working. Like I'd be
Oh yeah.
so glad to. The problem is though that like, America will probably not be capable of universal basic income. So
Oh right.
maybe I'll
Yeah.
try maybe Canada will be nice to me. Maybe we can sneak in there. Maybe we can go to Europe. I
Sure.
don't know. Of
Yeah.
course, I won't have any employable skills, so they probably won't
Mm.
let me in. I'm trying. I'm trying to. I don't know if this is best case or worst case, but like
Mm.
the all these AI products built on these huge large language models, transformer models, like they can only synthesize what they have. Like
Mm.
novel, new, creative thought is still not uh in their wheelhouse. Like
Yes, and I've also got some thoughts on that too. I used to think the same way. AI struggles or maybe can't come up with new ideas and new solutions, but I think it can, maybe. I think it works a lot like we do, where it builds new things based on experiences and remixing things. That said, the maybe there's a meter for newness, like how new or how much of a difference it is from what used to exist, and maybe it's still closer to what existed, and a real mishmash of that versus something profoundly new. Like it's probably won't come up with a whole new way to like do computing or anything.
yeah, well,
Um,
there's,
hmm
David Bowie would make lyrics by like writing down a bunch of gibberish and then cutting them up and then putting them back together again.
Oh, okay.
Um, but to like, but to like come up with something uh truly new, like
Hmm. I think you have to
I said,
define truly new.
well, I
Like,
suppose I guess
hmm
going into way outside of my comfort zone. Uh, because like the I guess it doesn't matter if the approximation is close enough because like you
mm,
have a huge model and you
hmm
drop the plinko ball through it and you get your not random but like statistically probable output.
Okay.
um but then like with models working upon models, then like
Mm,
they could just ask the person, is this what you want? Is this better or worse? And you'd be like, I don't like
mm,
it, it's worse. And it'd be like, okay, how about this, how about that? And again, eventually, if compute is zero, it costs
hmm
nothing, and if software
hmm
costs nothing, then yes, I suppose it's as good as creative thought. But like
Okay.
where I was going was like, as I always say when we're talking about AI,
hmm
good taste
hmm
and um figuring out the problem to solve
hmm
is is the like that's the human part. Um
mm,
and so there will certainly be less software developers,
hmm,
but people still want software. Like if it
hmm
really was like if nobody was buying Salesforce anymore because they just made their own CRM, if everybody was doing that and people
Yeah.
could be doing that, then like
hmm
Salesforce tank would be stock would be tanking and Salesforce would
Sure.
be making no sales. But like um we're not there yet, and I don't think even if
Yeah.
the tools were perfect, I don't think people want to make their tools. I think a lot of
Oh.
early adopters want to, but I don't know
Uh-huh.
if people on the street like,
Sure.
you know, I don't know if my neighbors want to chat with the thing, to make the thing, to use the thing. Like
Oh, well, yeah. They just
I
want
don't
the
know.
the end result. They want the things that they want.
Yeah, yeah.
So speaking to what AI can create or not, um I want to offer you maybe a new way of thinking about what AI can produce. And so I think the simplest way, I always say the simplest way and then I get real complex about it, so I apologize. But for me the simplest way to think about it is everything is a pattern, right? Um There's a pattern to language, which is what these things are really good at figuring out, what makes sense and what doesn't, and then spitting that out. But there are also deeper patterns that they're working with too, and there's patterns that exist outside of what they're working with. But everything is a pattern, especially if there's a right and wrong way to do it. And so the trick is figuring out what that pattern is. And if one way to visualize a pattern might be to like look at a graph. And so you can imagine points charted on a graph, and if there's a pattern, you'll be able to draw some kind of line or curve through that graph, and most of the points will be pretty close to that line because that's the pattern that they follow. There are going to be outliers, but those might be just like dramatically different. They might follow a different pattern. But especially when you're talking in large numbers, a lot of these points charted on this graph are going to follow a specific pattern, and you can draw a line to figure out what that pattern is. I think that these machine learning models, also based on a lot of the crazy YouTube videos I've watched, but I think these machine learning models are basically uh, uh, pattern recognition machines. If you give them enough data, they start to figure out the pattern that this data kind of aligns with, and they might be wrong sometimes, but the more information you give them, the better picture of that pattern they have. And then what you've got is something that can basically just draw the line of existing data, but even more, it can draw a line that goes past that existing data too. Maybe there's, lengths that we haven't reached yet that it's able to see like, well, if you just continue on this line, it's going to go in this direction. And in that way, it might reach new territory that we haven't explored yet. Does that make sense? Are you understanding where I'm kind of coming from
Yeah,
there?
yeah. I mean, that's how transformer models work. Like there's this huge statistical mess and like you
Uh-huh.
it recognizes these patterns and spits out or is trained and then spits out what is like pleasing.
Yeah.
And
And so the
like
basic thing is like if it can figure out that line on the graph, really, all it has to do is determine, first, what the accuracy of that line within the data that we have so far. And then all it has to do is follow that line beyond what we've got to get to somewhere new. And even within the data that we've got, it might be able to fill in the gaps for, other interesting things that we haven't explored yet. And so in that way, I think it might be capable of coming up with new things that people haven't come up with yet, just due to us not exploring that specific point on the line of that pattern. Does that make sense?
yeah, but you're talking about new arrangements within the training data. Like, I'm not saying that
Mm,
it can't write a new line of code, like a new line of
okay.
code, or
Mm-hmm.
even if you say, hey, write me a poem in the style of Pablo Neruda, like it can
Mm,
write that and it can make up words like,
mm-hmm.
but those are arrangements of the grammar of English or the syntax of the programming language.
Okay.
Like, how, like, where is like the new art form where like
Mm,
it's all of these are limited otherwise like with the transformer models
mm-hmm.
some nerd somewhere has to
Yeah.
have them yelling at each other, like talk to each other until you become sentient, but
Oh.
every time I'm not an expert but every time I've seen that it just turns into gibberish.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
not saying that what are they called, AGI,
Uh-huh.
true artificial intelligence,
Mm-hmm.
it is probably possible somewhere somehow,
Mm-hmm.
but I don't think it's a transformer model and I don't think it's
Mm,
within the next few years as much
yeah.
as OpenAI would have you believe that sometimes when they're not selling ads.
Right, yeah. Yeah, I guess it's a tough thing. When I talk about the pattern recognition, I guess I'm speaking about it in its like best form, which these models aren't perfect yet, right?
Hmm. Yeah.
And then those patterns do have to be at least carved out by people, and so let's say it's coming up with new lines of code, it's still writing the same kinds of things that we've been writing, which is it sounds like you're getting at.
Yeah. Like, has somebody used, I mean, I can try Googling it. Has somebody tried using an LLM to create a new programming language?
It must have happened by now, but I'm not aware of it.
And you're right as you were describing, the lines on the curb. Like, research has been done with LLMs on like meta analysis of cancer research,
Mm,
and the LLM, I can't remember the details, like found gaps and patterns where humans never would have seen them. And like, sure,
sure.
sometimes it hallucinates, but you're a person, and then you take its insight and you
Hmm.
go and you look for it and you say, oh,
Right.
it's there's
Right.
something there.
Hmm. Yeah. The curious thing for me is uh like what where you might be able to apply this and what you might be able to do if you have the right pattern. And so, for example, if we figure out how to sequence DNA, in a way that's going to be stable and workable, can we simply take a gene that's something like, glowing skin? We've already proven that we can apply that to other animals like fish, I think even pigs. And
The child was their life was saved last year using
oh,
CRISPR gene editing.
oh,
It's
okay,
here.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
not science fiction.
Right, right. It's been developing for a while. And so I wonder if there's a way to kind of look along that like line, to consider the pattern, to figure out that pattern and then say, if it's done in this specific way, on this line of like gene editing, uh then you can achieve this new thing. Um
Hmm.
and
But
so I think there's some areas where like that pattern can lead to something that feels new. But it wouldn't be dramatically new. Like it wouldn't be a new way of doing the genome, right?
yeah, like if if a transformer model could invent a new type of genes,
Hmm.
like something that
That'd be
wasn't
wild.
DNA,
It'd
yeah,
become its
that would
own
be crazy.
god.
But like, yeah, like throughout civilization, I think everybody's, not everybody, but like, it's very exciting. It's alluring to think that there's some like grand unified theory of everything. Like,
Hmm.
I'm thinking of like alchemists,
Mm.
if only we had the secret, if only we connected these things in the right way, we could transmute lead to gold. Uh
Mm.
like, I don't know. We're way off of work, but
Yeah, yeah, we're getting lost in the wonder of AI. But let's get back to work here. It's so easy to get off the tracks with this topic. All right,
uh
so AI at work, something I've been curious about. Um, is it okay to use AI at work or not? How do you know? How do you decide if you are in the place to make a decision for that?
man. Um so it's complicated
Hmm.
because um well, like, let's just start with like vendor selection.
Mm.
So if you're at a company that deals with medical data or financial data or
Hmm.
personal information, even marketing information like
Hmm.
that there either is legally or implicitly an expectation of privacy and
Right.
security.
Hmm.
And so, like, it might be alluring to go off and say, "Oh, I found some AI startup, and for $4 a month, they'll analyze all our health data and tell us about it."
Hmm.
That you should treat any third party, any vendor with the same level of scrutiny, even if it is cool and it's AI. Like, there's
Mm.
just the baseline of like security and privacy and uh like basic competence. But
Sure.
then so assuming that they aren't using your data that you're sharing with them for training data, and they aren't repurposing it, or maybe you're using your own sort of model in
Hmm.
AWS or something like that,
Hmm.
like, at that point it depends on the risk profile and the use case.
Okay.
um if, again, let's lean on like medical or financial data,
Hmm.
even if it is perfectly secure, if
Hmm.
you're not if you're not totally sure on the reliability of this model, and the model says to somebody, "Hey, I looked at your financial things and you should quit your job and go to Las Vegas and gamble it all away." And
Mm,
somebody does that, like, you as the person are culpable.
mm.
You can't say, as much as Elon Musk wishes he could, you can't say, "Oh, that was the AI." Like, we're not there
Right,
yet.
you can't just
You're
pin it off on the tool. You're
Yeah,
still responsible for it.
exactly. And this applies, I'm trying to use sort of dramatic examples of like um, using LLMs for customers.
Hmm.
But even internally, like if you send an email to the company that you generated with an LLM and it's wrong,
Hmm.
or it reads poorly, or maybe it's just a bad email, like
Mm.
that's on you. You can't say, "Oh, the AI told me to send that email." Like
Right.
it's it's you. So like
Yeah, yeah.
as
I think
as
that's
much
about as good as saying like the iOS autocorrect wrote it for you, you know? It's like,
exactly.
sure, you can try to use that as an excuse, but someone's going to expect you to like reread that and make sure it's done right.
Yeah, if you can't proofread your email, why should I read it? Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So maybe typos are a special exception there, you know. Sometimes it just really insists on putting the wrong word.
Yeah. But everything I just spilled out has been basically my framework for use at work. Like,
Mm,
um, and I like, I'm curious, you've used it in, you've used the Xcode integrated one, which is a pretty
hmm.
well-known sort of surface area.
Sure.
But have you automated things? Have you know, dropped it into your email and have it handling all your correspondence? Like how are you using it as a solopreneur?
I haven't, and maybe it's because I have like some kind of like need to like be in control, you know, like I wouldn't want to hire like an assistant to like tell me about my email. Like I want to glance at it and I want to like, you know, respond and handle all of that myself. And so I've had zero temptation to let an AI do that. Um could it be convenient? Probably, but um, you know, maybe this is just a consequence of having grown up before technology really became as crazy as it is today, you know? Uh,
Maybe you and I just don't get enough emails. I don't know.
maybe that too, yeah. You know, it would be very different if I was getting like thousands of emails a day.
Yeah.
Especially if it's like thousands of emails that could be relevant, you know?
Yeah.
Feedback or, you know, bugs or something. Um,
Yeah.
and so yeah, I've had no desire to really go outside of the development tools toolbox, I guess. Um, but yeah, I think I think I want to keep it as minimal as possible, and at the end of
Yeah.
the day, I trust my judgment more than an AI. It's
Yeah.
exciting to think that an AI can do a lot of it for me, but you know, if we're talking about intelligences here, I just trust mine more than the AI.
Yeah. Somebody gosh, who was it? Somebody smart online uh, saw a study, some news article that was like, companies are spending X money on AI, but like most workers say it isn't valuable.
Mm.
Despite this, most executives say it's super valuable. And then he was like, well, that's because an executive's job is getting 4,000 emails, trying to figure out what it all means,
Mm.
summarizing it. And so
Oh,
I can see value there, but even there, I
yeah,
feel like I'd still be nervous, like
yeah,
they have a okay, not a great track record in my experience of accuracy
sure,
in the details. And
yeah,
so if it summarizes your email and it's like, hey, Bob and Sue emailed about this project and Jimmy
mm.
says it's going to be late and Samantha says it costs $4,000, like
Mm.
I would then have to check all of those anyway. Like
Yeah, yeah,
but maybe you and I, like you said, maybe we're just
hmm,
too, we want to be in control. We don't trust enough.
sure, yeah. I think maybe it also has to do with maybe there just hasn't been an AI or a flow or system that has spoken to me yet because there's totally I can imagine a case where it does do like some kind of high level summary, and I'm able to like click in to go to a deeper level and click in again,
Mhm.
and then I guess that's why I enjoy using AI with my development, because at the end of the day, I'm still kind of deep in there making a lot of decisions, you know.
Yeah.
Um, Maybe there's some point where like I do want to zoom out and be able to like still have the ability to like dig deeper if I want to, but
Hmm.
you know, I'm not, maybe I just haven't seen something that does that good enough for me yet.
You need the equivalent of like a compiler and a debugger, but for prose, for like the written word.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
Because yeah, at least with the code, especially with compiled code like Swift,
Hmm.
it either compiles or it doesn't. Like
Yeah.
the you get errors, you get warnings. Like
Hmm.
at least there's something. So even if you don't read the code,
Hmm.
there's the minimum of sort of like this will work
Yeah.
with English, with like
Hmm.
human communication. There's
Hmm.
no and there's no compiler.
Yeah, yeah. I need something with like the same kind of discerning eye that I'd expect for myself, you know.
Oh man. Okay, homework. How do you feel about training your own?
With today's tools, not great. But you know what
Yeah.
I could see happening in the future? I could see uh, uh, an AI tool that you just give it like work that you really hold up on a pedestal. We talked about role models before.
Yeah.
Um, uh, People we admire, work that we admire. Maybe you feed that kind of stuff to this AI and you say like, this is what I want, the kind of stuff I want to make, the quality I want to make, or better.
Yeah.
Um, and you know, whatever you do, like do it in that vein. And if it actually did that successfully, you know, if it made software that was bug free, if it made you know, UI and UX that felt intuitive and easy, if it knew what that even meant, you know, I don't think it even
Mm.
understands that today. Um, then I would feel a little bit better about it. Because here's the truth: at the end of the day, I want to be able to like create as easily as like I could imagine when I was a child. You know, like when I was a child, I had so many like different like ideas of things that could exist. I still have ideas today, but today I know like that I have to work through all the details of it. But as a kid, you know, I was just like, I want to be an astronaut, and I had no idea how I was going to
Yeah.
get from that point to being an astronaut, but I just knew that was what I wanted. And if an AI can connect those dots for me, that would be amazing, you know.
Yeah.
Um but I don't know if it's going to get there or if I'll be alive when it does. At this rate, to be
Well,
honest, I'm kind of like, oh, I'll probably be alive. How fast it's
with
moving, but
yeah, I mean with software as we've discussed at length, pretty good. But
uh,
where do you draw the line, right? Like
mhm,
if you said to AI, "Hey, make me a song," like
mhm.
is it the I don't know, the I'm assuming that the joy of music creation is in, playing the instrument,
Oh,
sequencing the beats. Like
hmm.
I I, I don't know.
Well,
I wouldn't enjoy it. Like make me a song. Like
mhm.
the whole point is to struggle, right? For me.
Yes, and for me, I would say yes and no. So I would say when I'm like working with music, when I'm listening to my own music, I'm in a very different headspace than when I'm listening to something new and just trying to explore for new music that I enjoy, you know.
Mhm.
I remember when I first just to name drop a couple of my favorite bands, when I first came across like Beach House and Blonde Redhead.
Mhm.
You know, these aren't, you know, like super obscure bands today, but at the time they were a little bit harder to find. And they were working in a different kind of structure than I had heard, musically. You know, a lot of pop music was like 4 bars long with a little bit of variation, but they were kind of working with 8 bars and even more with these kind of melodies that would kind of string longer and feel like they were telling a more like nuanced story than most of the music that I've heard at that point did. And so if AI could present me with music like that, I'd probably be surprised and, pretty satisfied and curious enough to continue listening. Might even pick out some favorites from that. The problem is AI isn't doing that well enough today, but if it did that, I'd be happy with that, That said, if I prompted it and asked it to make music like that, I would not consider myself the creator of that music. And so I would be in a different headspace if I'm trying to make music on my own. And I do enjoy that in one kind of way, and then listening to music I enjoy in a different kind of way, which
Hmm.
yeah, I've got a different ear for both.
Yeah.
I don't know. We're really like off the rails from AI at work. But maybe that, as like like when I said I wouldn't consider the prompted result to be my own work.
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh well, does the stuff that AI produces is that can we really take ownership of that?
Yeah. Unclear. I don't know if the courts will settle that or the
Sure.
court of public opinion. Yeah.
I think
Um,
in terms of music, it might be different. At least with the code, you're still kind of guiding it and deciding the architecture and direction for the most part, I think. I don't know if you're like one-shotting apps, maybe not. But
yeah. I mean, there might be the equivalent. Well, I don't know. I guess we could do some research. There might be the equivalent in music making though, where you give it like a really detailed spec. You're like, it's in the key of this, and then it's in
oh,
the key of
sure.
that, and then there's a
Yeah.
solo that hits this rhythm, and I don't
Yeah, yeah.
uh, and
Add a
maybe there's
bridge
a
here.
yeah, maybe there's a tool that spits that out, but like
Right.
uh,
There's a very big distance between making something from scratch yourself and telling an AI to make it and it just spits something out. You can
yeah,
get very nuanced in between there.
oh yeah.
Maybe that nuance is what makes it more admirable or not.
I've got this theory. One day I'll write a blog post, or maybe we'll talk about it here. But like the struggle makes things worthwhile. Like
Yeah, yeah.
if you just handed something, or if you just type
Mm.
in a phrase into ChatGPT, like
Mm-hmm.
it's nothing given, nothing received. It's not worth anything, right? Like
Yeah.
and so even a silly example that I think of all the time is even like is shopping. Like if
Mm.
you go on Amazon, you just hit a button and the thing shows up a day later. Like
Mm-hmm.
even the money you spent, like it's on the credit card. It's not like real money.
Mm.
I said now I sound like an old man, like a grandpa. Like in my day, we had paper money, but even if you just like walk to the store and like
Mm-hmm.
talk to a person and like look at options, like
Mm.
there's just a different
Mm-hmm.
feeling, even in something as obviously commercial and
Mm.
hollow as shopping. uh
Yeah, yeah. I do I want to agree with that, but I think sometimes the struggle can also be irrelevant. So I used to be into like really like math metal, like very technical kind of music.
yeah, yeah.
Uh and as a musician, it was easy for me to appreciate that because I could listen to that and be like, "Oh my God, that would take so much time for me to like master and memorize."
Yeah,
Like these guys have really worked hard at this and they've created something really interesting.
yeah.
But then there are other people who would listen to that and they'd be like, "This is music?"
Yeah, I know. You turn to your significant other and you're like,
Yeah.
"Don't you can you believe that mode? Is that like a polyrhythm? What's going on here?" And
Right,
they're like,
right.
"Can we listen to something else, please?"
Right, yeah. And I can't even deny that sometimes just a very simple melody with even nonsensical lyrics sounds
Yeah,
good.
yeah.
Even some of this AI stuff I see, like I was watching this YouTube short earlier today, that basically just took a script for like describing how oil gets processed, crude oil, into the
Mhm.
different products you can get from that. And none of the lyrics rhymed. They did match the beat, but it ended with this like like not a smooth conclusion.
Yeah.
It was literally like a Discovery Channel script turned into a song with no effort to make it sound musical or
Is
poetic.
that I think I've seen that on YouTube and TikTok. Is that channel all just like describing how things are made or how things work to like a catchy beat?
I'm not sure. It might be. I didn't even click into the channel because I thought it was so ridiculous. But I watched that whole video and I watched it probably 3 times because I was like, okay, interesting information and kind of musical. Kind of like it
In
follows a
the
beat.
ballpark?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't mind the melody, it's kind of rock
Mm.
sounding, but I would not it's it's tough because there's a part of me that's like, sure, I'll play that in the background. But then there's another part of me that's like, I would not want to listen to that really on a normal basis. So I don't know.
One last thing about AI at work.
Hmm.
I've been thinking about this a lot recently because, like, I started a new job. Um,
Yeah.
there's been this joke about like AIs making huge specs and then emailing it to you, and then you get a huge thing and use an AI to summarize it, and like nobody's actually reading the thing. Um,
Mm.
I no matter what you do, like
Hmm.
the human element of working together, whether it's a team or the whole organization or you and your customers, like
Hmm.
um I want to get a little sappy and say like the human part doesn't change. Like
Hmm.
working together, having space to try things,
Hmm.
communicating authentically, like that
Hmm.
that stuff that's not going away. Like
Yeah.
even if me as a manager could probably be replaced by a Slack bot that just emoji reacted,
Uh,
like people
oh no.
people still people still care, what
Yeah.
who's gonna make sure it's the right emoji for the right emotion.
Yeah, and for better or worse, that might be the only thing that keeps these jobs around for much longer. Um, Especially if these AI bots get more productive.
Oh
But
man, yeah.
what you're kind of speaking to is what I think will end up being true in the long run, even if AI takes over productivity. Maybe it won't necessarily be a job thing, maybe AI working for us is going to be what allows us to just focus on those human elements in our lives and really get to explore what it is to be a human and get along with other humans, and maybe that's
Here's
when we're able to finally transcend into a better society.
yeah, here's hoping. I mean,
Yeah.
economists and philosophers have been hoping for that since the Industrial Revolution, but this
Yeah.
could be the one. This time
Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
we might actually get that leisure.
hopefully it makes sense to me, because a person who's so busy and beaten down by work has no time to really focus on the human sides of life. If anything,
Yeah.
they're encouraged to be less human. They've got to be robotic just to get the job done sometimes. And
Oh man. Yeah,
even
robots
at
making robots.
yeah, I mean, like you think about the number of people who really make huge sacrifices on their own comfort and well-being just to get a job done and get a paycheck.
Yeah.
It's there's no question that having more time will allow people to shift focus to more human things. And
Yeah.
how could you not if you have more time?
I
Um,
hope so.
yeah.
I'm right there with you.
All right. Well, we managed to stretch another topic for a full episode. And it was hard enough to stay on topic as
There's
it was
yeah.
going. So,
God, yeah, and I had to there's just so much to cover. I had to hold myself back, and then I'm ready to jump in with you and be like, "Yeah, we should get to the post-capitalist economy. What are we doing here? Let's go."
right.
Nobody needs to work, man. Like, we could just the value exists. We could just spread it around.
Yeah, the tough thing is it's going to take a while to get around human ego, I think. There's some people
Uh,
who just love
uh,
being the boss, and
I
bossing
know.
others around. Yeah.
Yeah. Ugh.
I mean, like, I'll be honest, if there's going to be a boss, I would love to be in that position, but if there didn't have to be a boss, like, hey, let's all just, not be bosses and
Yeah.
just enjoy life.
Yeah. This weekend, I sat down with my new best friend, Claude. I installed the command line interface instead of using the Xcode sidebar and got to work on my new contacts app. And if you're just joining us for the first time, I hate the contacts app that comes built into macOS Tahoe. It's ugly. It's non-functional. Its UI wiggles underneath me, like I'll be editing something and then I'll accidentally call somebody, and like
Ugh.
just not a good app. So I'm trying to make a very simple, sort of boring contacts app for just viewing my contacts and then hopefully editing and creating new contacts.
Hmm.
So my workflow went like this. The first time I tried it, I tried to basically one-shot the app. I was just like, hey, make me an app that does this. And that did
Right.
not go very well, and David made fun of me. So this weekend, I sat down and I started with a spec, and I started with sort of a germ of text. I said, I want to make a contacts app for everything I just said. Use the contacts app from macOS Sequoia and earlier as an example. I took a screenshot of an old version and I put that in the folder.
Okay.
And I had this very rough sort of spec. And my first step was to say, hey, Claude, take this spec and this screenshot and make a robust project plan. And then a link in the show notes to my GitHub so you can take a look at it if you want. Claude went and churned for a while and made I think there were like 7 phases to this project plan. And it was like, they're going to add groups and we're going to add, editing stuff and metadata. And there were a bunch of features that I had no interest in. So then I went through and I edited the big project plan and tweaked the specs a little and got to something that, I don't know, seemed reasonable.
Nice.
I opened up Xcode and I created a new project that was just empty. And then I said, well, here's the project. Here's the project plan. Go to work, start phase 1. And, I don't know, 10 minutes later, like it said, hey, do you want to run this app? And I said, oh, I guess so. And I ran the app and it didn't work. I said, it didn't work. And it said, oh, that's weird. Let me try some other stuff. And it kind of spun its wheels for a few minutes. But and while it was spinning its wheel, I was in the contact permissions method that it had made. And I said, something's wrong here, because the breakpoint was going straight to an error. And so I knew there was something going on, and I was pretty sure it was because I wasn't requesting permissions correctly. And then I think it was the second iteration, Claude said, let me check the build artifact for the info plist with the, I forget what it's called. It's called like NS contact reason description, something like that, like your reason for asking for contact access.
Okay.
And it said, oh, it's not in the build product. That's it. My plist was not included. Do you want to edit it, or do you want do you want me to do it, or should you do it? And so I said, I'll take care of it. And I put the reason in, and while I was in there, I saw there's also a checkbox for access to contacts in the project. It's you want that entitlement. So I did that, went back to Claude, ran it. It asked for permission, and boom, my contacts, it had permission, were all showing.
Wow, all right. And so this is pulling your actual existing contacts into this app.
Yeah, using the Mac Contacts API, the contacts framework. It it worked for reading contacts. The layout was not beautiful, but fine. And so I won't continue with this level of detail, but basically phase 1 was complete, and then
Nice.
I think phase 2 and phase 3 were like adding sorting and searching, and then making all the links sort of clickable. So if you click a phone number, you can make a phone call and so on. And it got hung up with sorting. For whatever reason, its sort implementation was just wrong in like weird ways. Like it was sorting like by last name and organization. It was
Hmm.
some sort of sort descriptor. Again, you can dig
Okay.
in the Git repo if you really want to see the
Mm-hmm.
before and after. But none of this. I deleted some stuff manually, but
Mm-hmm.
except for a few deletes and like little formatting tweaks, Claude did it all. And we
Wow.
got to, I believe it was phase 4.
Before we go
Yeah.
further, when you say Claude did it all, are you saying that, like, how are you interfacing with Claude? Is this on the command line? Is this through an app? Are
In
you
the
actually in Xcode with it?
I had Xcode open on the side, but I was putting the prompts and following along in the command line
Okay.
Claude app.
Okay. Wow.
And so Claude maintained in the working folder.
Mm-hmm.
I have a text file, the detailed project plan, and then it created a phase 1 complete and a phase 2 complete report, but then it
Mm-hmm.
gave up. It stopped making those after phase 2. I
Okay.
don't know why. I also sort of left and came back at one point, and it was able to pick up the context based on the project plan and the previous notes to itself.
Mm.
So then the last part, the part where I gave up for this weekend of talking to Claude,
Yeah.
it tried to do edit editing a contact, and for some reason it thought it was a really good idea to put in a bunch of multi-threaded sort of concurrency wrangling. So it was like trying to do
Oh.
saves on the background and then come back, and then
Oh. Okay.
I mean, I haven't used Swift in a
Hmm.
couple years, so like
Sure.
I have no idea about like the concurrency, the strict
Yeah.
concurrency. Like, yeah, and so I was googling stuff and then arguing with Claude, and I was like, forget it, I'll come back later.
Yeah.
We'll
Yeah.
try again next week.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, the
Okay.
code's up and it works for searching, reading, and sorting
Ah,
out of your
okay.
contacts API.
Awesome. Yeah, interesting about the multi-threading and concurrency. I For me, I would probably look into a couple things. First, is it necessary to do that? Maybe in the documentation it might say whether it handles those asynchronously or not on its own.
Yeah.
Um, and second, I would be careful because sometimes, especially when it gets into this kind of stuff, uh, AIs can lose track of systems that they set up before, and so it might, try to do some of it on a background thread and some of it not. It might try to do stuff it's already put in a background thread on a background thread on another level.
Hmm.
Uh, like you might have a background thread being called multiple times, which I'm not even sure if that'd be a problem, but
Yeah.
when it gets into these less direct things and maybe more project reaching things, uh, best to tread carefully and with
Yeah,
a
for sure.
magnifying glass over everything it's doing there.
Yeah. Yeah, and I was especially since it's my contacts, it's
Yeah.
using the API to actually edit my
Oh, that's
contacts
right.
database. I
Yeah.
was super worried. I created a new contact off to the side called like Testman, and I was trying
Okay.
to edit in there.
Wow. Interesting.
So
Yeah, well, it sounds like it's progressing nicely. That's good.
yeah, and this isn't like super complicated. Like when I think of the old days,
Mm-hmm.
this probably would have been like a day of work,
Yeah.
maybe a little more than that, since I'm trying to handicap myself, like discount for it's been so long since I made a Mac app. But
Right.
um
It also depends
this
how much you want to do before, like planning and architecting, testing out
yeah,
different things. Yeah.
yeah. And so this was, yeah, that's true too. I didn't have to do any pre-work, look at the docs, anything like that. It was just,
Mm-hmm.
you know, big bang boom.
Yep.
So,
Yeah.
and this really was like, I think total time spent maybe like an hour and a half, 2 hours
That's
on a
awesome.
Sunday,
So you've
not bad at
experienced
all.
it. You've experienced the time saving that AI can really provide. Are you a believer now? Or do you like AI coding now?
Well, I've been a believer
Okay.
uh it just, yeah, it clicked for me working on a small self-contained project.
Mm.
The sort of the I don't know, the workflow, right? Like you can watch somebody else
Yeah,
play a video
yeah,
game, but like then you actually like play it and you're like, oh, I get it. Yeah. Like
yeah.
first hand experience, definitely good. Um
I was just gonna say, is this better than you felt like after that first one shot, or did you kind of expect things would go this way?
well, I think the unknown for me when I started was what this weekend, like after the one shot,
Hmm.
uh I kind of knew that I was unserious there. Like I kind of knew that that wouldn't
Okay.
work.
Yeah.
But yeah, this weekend I think I kind of assumed
Hmm.
that it wouldn't, Claude would not be as adept with Swift and wrangling Xcode as
Okay.
it is with like at full time at work, like it's in uh Python and TypeScript. And so
Mm.
like I think I just expected it to be a little creaky, doing Mac
Hmm.
development, but I
Hmm.
was pleasantly surprised, yeah.
Awesome. Wow. And I mean, not that you've made any hard decisions on this yet, but are you any looking back to how you used to do development, or are you going this way from this point on?
Um I don't it dep like just the barrier to entry is just like obliterated.
Yeah.
Like there was I'll see if I remember to put this in the show notes too. There was an article on Ars Technica and it was provocatively titled like how I burned myself out using AI things and made like 80 things in 30 days.
Oh,
And this
wow.
one of
80.
the
Jeez.
one of the editors, maybe I'm exaggerating, maybe it was 30 and 30, but he
Still, yeah.
he just like went nuts making
Uh-huh.
like little games and trinkets and utilities and all sorts of
Ooh.
stuff.
Okay.
And so like I think it's just a shortage of problems to solve. Like I was like, oh, I could
Mm.
use this for anything. And then I sat
Hmm.
down and I was like, well, I don't really need anything right now.
Sure.
I'm doing fine.
Yeah.
But yeah, as soon as I think of something, like I don't have to dust off, JavaScript knowledge. I don't have to
Hmm.
think about CSS. Like
Hmm.
if I, want to stand up a website, eh, boom, I would just make a comp
Yeah.
and then fill it in and I'd be on
Hmm.
my way. Like that's super cool. Just,
Yeah. Yeah, I
nothing
think
holding you back.
right. I think this is the best time for all of those ideas you've ever had but felt like you'd probably need to save for another day, you know? Um
Yep.
I I've got so many ideas like that I just jot down into my notes, and so I've had a list of a bunch of different apps, and now it's just about prioritizing them and which ones I want to spend time on. But yeah, it's pretty much like there's so many ideas, even just for fun ideas that you might come across and think of, and now you can actually just be like, all right, I'll write that down and try it out.
Yeah.
It might have taken weeks before, and now you can get a basic version of it in a day.
Well, I don't know. I might prove myself wrong, but I feel like the hard part has moved to sort of deploying and maintaining. Like, so
Mm,
if you were coming in completely fresh with like no experience and you
mm-hmm,
made a game or a website or
mm-hmm,
an app,
mm-hmm.
um, could maybe this is a new frontier, could Claude or any of the LLM agents like handle submission to the app store or getting it onto a web server somewhere? Like,
Oh my goodness, yeah.
do
I
you
mean,
still need expertise there, or is it totally blown apart and you can just, you
sure.
know,
I
just
mean,
go for it?
automation tools have existed around those for a while. Maybe you tap into something like Fastlane, right?
Yeah.
And maybe I mean, if Claude's basically editing files, and I mean it must be executing commands on some level, right? Maybe you can do that too.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I mean it it suggests software to install. It
Mm,
runs command lines like the CLI really does like if you give it permission, Claude will
hmm.
just, go nuts in whatever
Yeah,
directory you gave it.
yeah. It's gotta. I mean, it might still need some human troubleshooting, but it's got to at least be able to use those tools. And so, yeah, I could see a pipeline that is managed by an AI.
Even like AWS has command line interface, and Terraform can describe your infrastructure. And
Hmm.
so I haven't looked into it at all, but now I'm thinking like I bet you could probably be like, "Hey Claude, here's an architecture diagram. I need a database and a web server and, you know, make it happen." Uh
Oh man, yeah, yeah. I mean, that makes me go back to like, uh-oh, is that too high level or not? But I mean, like, there's probably a way to make it work
oh man.
with today's
Okay,
tools too. Yeah.
I amend what I said earlier. We're all going to be out of a job in a few weeks. Oh.
Fingers crossed. Oh man. Yeah. Maybe this podcast will be our savior.
Oh gosh. Yeah, like send us money, like and subscribe.
Yes, yes. If any of you have been wondering out there, we're not making any money from this right now, so I hope you guys are enjoying it.
Uh yeah, so I will continue hacking away at it, and I'll include all these links in the show notes so people, if they want to, can follow along. Um yeah, it's just, I guess I'm late to the party, like
But maybe in a great way, because like you're getting deeper into it than I have.
oh
Like you're
yeah.
probably going to be using multiple clients before I do.
Oh man.
The tools are a bit more developed for you.
Okay, so now we get a countdown clock. Now we're gonna be out of work in 10 minutes.
Thanks for listening to the NSCoder Chicago podcast. My name is David.
And my name's Sean. NSCoder Chicago is a monthly meetup in downtown Chicago for Apple developers and enthusiasts alike. We meet on the last Tuesday of every month. More information about us is available at nscoder-chicago.com, and you can find us on meetup.com. Search for NSCoder, Cocoa Heads, Chicago Mac iOS Meetup. You'll find us. We'd love to see you there. All are welcome. Next meeting will be at the end of February.